simplifying algebraic expressions by using the distributive property. So first off, let's talk about what the distributive property means, okay? This means when I have A times B times C, well, the A is multiplying to B, and A is multiplying to C, okay? It works the same way if the A is at the end, so it's still A times B plus A times C. Okay, with subtraction in the middle, it works the same as well. Here I would get A times B minus A times C. And again, if the A is at the end, it still works the same way. Oops, that was a terrible A there. Okay, so that's what the distributive property is, and that's what it tells me. All right, so let's look at an example. So the first thing I want to do is I want to identify what am I going to be distributing. Okay, so the 3 in this case is what's sitting in front of the parentheses, so that is what I'm going to distribute or multiply to what's inside. Okay, for the first couple, I'm going to actually write out step by step, and then I'll show you what you can do after that. So we're doing 3 times x plus 3 times 2. Well, 3 times x is just 3x. 3 times 2 is 6. All right, so looking at this one here, when I have a negative, just a negative sign in front, I'm going to have a -1. So I am distributing a -1 to the t and a -1 to the 9. So we get -1 times t minus, now I'm going to put the second -1 in parentheses to pay attention to it, minus a 9. Okay? So now we've got -1 times t, which just becomes a -t. We don't need to put the 1. Minus, well, -1 times 9 is a -9. And anytime we have a double negative like we do here, highlight that. In this case here, that double negative, it did not change my color like I told it to. In this case, that becomes a positive because we're saying a -1 times -9. So we end up with -t plus 9 as our final answer. All right, let's look at the next one. All right, so I've got 4 plus 5 times 3x minus 2. So here, we are going to distribute the +5. So right now we're not doing anything with this 4. It's just going to come down. And we're going to take 5 times 3x and 5 times -2. So we get plus 5 times 3x minus 5 times 2. All right, so 4 we're not doing anything with yet. We've got 5 times 3, which gives me 15x, minus 5 times 2, which is 10. From here, we're going to look for those like terms, which in this case is 4 and -10. Because remember, that sign, the like terms take the sign in front. So we end up with, whoops, not 14, sorry. We end up with 15x. Well, 4 plus a -10 is a 6. So my answer is 15x minus 6. All right, we'll look at this one. All right, what am I going to be distributing here? A -2. So -2 times x and -2 times 4. I'm going to show you a slightly different way to deal with that negative in the middle. -2 times x. All right, so we're going to do minus -2 times 4. I still have the 3x, and I still have the -1. All right, so -2 times x is a -2x. Minus -2 times 4 gives me a -8. Plus 3x minus 1 still. Okay, remember when we have a double negative here, that's going to become positive. Okay, and from here we're just combining like terms. So my 2x and my 3x, or sorry, my -2x. So -2x plus 3x gives me x, or 1x. And then 8 and -1 gives me 7. So my answer is x plus 7. All right, we're going to look at one more here. I've got 7 minus, parentheses, -x, plus 1, or plus 9, plus 3. So remember here, we're distributing a -1 because of that. So we would get 7 plus -1 times -x plus -1 times -9 plus 3. So 7, not multiplying anything, -1 times -x gives me a positive x. -1 times -9, or positive 9, that's not a -9. Miswrote there, apologize guys. So -1 times -9, or positive 9 is a -9 plus 3. Now, adding a negative is the same thing as subtracting. So I can take out that plus sign and just write it as -9. All right, so now we need to look at what our like terms are. So in this case, we've got 3 different like terms, the 7, the -9, and the 3. So 7 plus -9 gives me -2, and -2 plus 3 gives me 1. So I end up with x plus 1. And there's my final answer. All right, last one I want to talk about is this one here, 9c times d plus 3f. So I'm distributing 9c. So I'm going to take 9c times d and 9c times 3f. Well, 9c times d All right, so here we're going to look at if we have coefficients, those multiply together. If we have the same variable, that we would change some exponents, but in this case, so we get 9c times d just gives me 9cd plus 9c times 3f. Well, 9 times 3 is 27. And then we just get CF. And since I do not have like terms, there is my answer. All right, that is all I have for this video.